Imperial. But you know what? It's enough predictions from us. Let's let the players do the talking. Heroic versus Imperial, your Copenhagen Games 2018 Grand Finals, and it is Mirage to kick it off. Snappy wants some impact, but he's found nobody whatsoever. In fact, Imperial, they're going to be playing over towards this A site right away, and they will be using the 2 sets of utility to get their way inwards. It is just Modi sitting back towards the ticket booth, spotting players as they trickle in, and he takes a nade to the face. A nice assist coming in from Asilian. It's Tensky with the opening kill and a bomb plant for Imperial as they hold this 4v4.
I love the double nade going into the back of the site. A little bit different, although a bit delayed and enough that he gets a kill. And actually, Snappy's found another one, but the flash into CT. Esperanto off to a start. He gets himself 2 with Nuclear as well. And Imperial are going to start things off with a pistol.
There we go. He wants the duels, and Tommy gets them. Obviously, once you have that retake situation, well, Heroic have no choice but to come back into the lying weights of Imperials. So for them to get the pistol right away, that is great stuff. They will start off in the forefront. They'll invest heavily into the rifles with a single SMG, a Cillian task to the MAC-10. And Heroic, these guys scare me. Most notably Nico on that Deagle. I think he does make an argument for himself in terms of being a fantastic Deagler. Maybe it's the name. Maybe it's just his Danish skill. However, the time being, Imperial yet again working their way towards the A site. They aren't going to actually have much of a feeler across the map, and in this round we've already seen Heroic be much more proactive on the offense. They've pushed up towards Catwalk, they've gotten that stance over towards middle, and you can see Rubino trying to come bolster this A site hold. He will sit back towards Ticket. And now, at this point, Asilian goes creeping forward. He wants to try and pressure the B site, but if Easytag can clear him from behind, then that could be it. He is starting to back in through the apps, and Asilian has his attention turned. Easytag gets the chance, but the tapping CZ is not enough. And there's the first frag of the round.
Yeah, the problem with this is it could drag some rotations in, but they have spotted the push now coming in towards the site. Snappy nets 1 with the Deagle. That'll be Nexa down. Esperanto quickly trades, but Modi on the site. He's done so much damage. He's picked up a second, leaving it into the 2v2. Nuke will eventually end his life, and it's Nico remaining versus Asilian. Dane on Dane, pushing up with a MAC-10, has himself the Deagle and wins the battle as well. Bounces straight back, and Heroic are on the board.
That's it. I mean, sure enough, we do see that feeler over towards the B site. Imperial, they were trying to gain information, but they still opted to move their way into the A site despite the stack. Modi finding 2 off the CZ, and Nico clearing it up with the clutch. That was unarmored as well. Nobody even take down his health whatsoever. So we get that AK and the M4 invested, we get the trio of umps, and we find Imperial trying to do to Heroic what was done to them. Forcing back in off of the pistols, they'll have themselves a plentiful bit of flashbangs. But they aren't going to overextend quickly. Now this goes into what the desk was talking about, Tom, that slow T side. They're very reserved in the opening few seconds. They have not opted to look for an initial gunfight, instead wanting to piece Asilian to the bottom of mid so that they can pinch inwards onto mid. Nico will find a little positioning up towards ladder, and he's supporting Rubino, who can just patiently lie in wait.
Rubino, maybe the first point of contact here. He's got a couple of players pushing into that connector. The head has been spotted. Rubino gets the first. Trade not going to be available even. Almost gets the third, and well, SB will eventually trade, but there's so much left to be done for this T side. Bomb actually going to be left in the connector for now, and a lot of information has been gathered for the CTs. They've left 2 players in this spawn area, and they have the range of the rifle of S-Tag to really do the damage. Snappy even gets rid of Esperanto, and I don't know if he spotted the bomb, but it definitely would have come up on the map. So CT side really do have all information available to them. Tensky will be left alone as S-Tag finds the kill, and Snappy is there to close it. 4 players alive, great round from Heroic, and now the Ts will have nothing to play with.
Yeah, now they definitely have to just sit back and allow for those rounds to stack on the side of Heroic. Rubino goes unchecked there. 3 Ts start to trickle inwards, and he clears out those first 2. Now Imperial with nothing whatsoever. A single P250, Tom. Not even a flashbang to try and flood their way out from a certain position, no. They will have to play patient. And these are the kinds of rounds where Heroic would love to make use of the 2 umps they still hold on to. Even if these lives are thrown away, it's all right if it's in the name of personal gain. The finances could be doubled. But again, Imperial, I don't think this is the kind of pace you want to set to a round with only pistols. They will catch nobody off guard because Heroic, again, starting to feel out over towards the ramp. The support is over towards Ticket. They're not overextending per se. They're not forcing themselves into a frantic type situation, but they are curious.
S-Tag taking a little bit of a dink, but the nade does catastrophic damage. Esperanto left on 14 HP, and they know that the players are around that area as well. Mid control will be in the hands of the T side, but it seems more the similar stance we saw when in the ECS qualifier, actually, where Heroic were just allowing mid control, especially in this scenario. Nuclear will at least manage to pick up one, but the bomb now dropped in the connector, and Nico just taps away, cleaning up these remaining players. Nexa with nothing to play with. They've at least got themselves a kill in this round, but that will be all. Heroic with 4 players once again, and the Danes will now meet a bye.
Yeah, that's a nice little setup there. I mean, obviously we see the T's trying to pinch in through connector again. We have alluded to this mid control over and over from Imperial, whether it's fast, whether it's slow. They emphasize the middle of the map, which is fine in the gun rounds, but with those pistols, you see the setup coming in from Heroic. I mean, they've got the one player committed to the jungle, somebody actually inside connector to kind of unravel the initial push, and then catwalk fast to respond, but it looks like Nico wants to go to the top of mid, and he doesn't even need the kill. It's Rubino through the smoke, spamming straight forward. An uncharacteristic loss for Imperial when they don't hold down the mid, but instead they'll opt to go quickly into the B site. They've got somebody nipping at their heels already, but they've taken down Rubino. And now Tensky kind of distracted, not necessarily watching the flank there. You have it, Snappy lines up too, and Nuki needs to respond. The bomb's been planted, but the man advantage works to the way of Heroic until Nexa comes in. It's Madi fast into the bomb site, trying to connect the second shot. It's Nexa through the bench, and EC Tag gets him. Heroic with another round. Great retake to the B site, but a costly one, Tom.
Yeah, definitely. It comes very, very close, and a bomb plant for Imperial will definitely give them a chance to buy into that round. Nexa with some heroics, but it was just that sort of quick flank that comes in that really causes problems for Imperial. I think if that's not there, then the round probably swings into their favor. Either way, Imperial, they've taken themselves an early tactical pause. It's 4-round streak. They have the money that they can still invest, but they're already going to talk things over. And I think it's necessary. And one thing to note is Esperanto, in pretty much every single game we've seen, has got off to a flying start. Okay, he does some damage in the pistol. They shut him down within the first few seconds of that round, and he's so instrumental to this T side of Mirage that if they can sort of throw him off his game, I think the game is over.
Could very well be. He has been kind of the shining upcoming star so far this weekend. There was a lot of talk of Esperanto coming into the event, and I think already he's proven himself. That's hands down.
How much of that was me?
You're the only person I've talked to all weekend, Tom. That's pretty much all of you. A little bit of risk in there. We'll give him credit where credit is due. But it's only now, right? Once Esperanto is toppled over north that we see, of course, online, a lot more people kind of recognizing his legitimacy. The young gun on screen now. However, remember that it was versus North in which we saw Imperial take this pause 5 rounds deep and then start off their T side.
This is interesting, actually, because they are a team that's normally so like based off individual skill that I somewhat expected them to go for the Force. They had enough to get AKs on every single player, but they're going to show some discipline. They take the time, make sure that they can get the AWP into the hands of Nuclear, who I think in the series versus North was definitely the man that stepped up with Esperanto to really bring them through. So I think it's worth doing, and especially in a matchup where I don't think there's a necessarily defined AWPer for Heroic. Obviously, Snappy's been the one picking it up a lot of the time. S-Tag has it here in this round, but well, he's just over towards the back of side. And this looks like it's more of a setup-based thing. He's boosted up, ready and waiting to watch the connector. But again, look how passive the hold is. Okay, they've gone aggressive over towards the ramp, but in terms of actual mid control, they're giving everything to the T's. They're like, take it. You can have it. We'll hold on to our sights.
I mean, they'd love for them to actually trickle in through connector. How many times have we seen Imperial do this? Whether it's with guns or pistols, they just slowly work their way into connector, but Nuki's going to try to go up Cat. That's shut down, and the ramp holds solid. Nexa, sure enough, will find 1 out of Palace, but a single Deeg's all he's got, and he's already sitting on 13. The grenade past his shoulders, but the shot's through his chest. will take him down. Heroic, I would argue, have a very good read as to what's going on right now. It is all mid-control from Imperial. It's been the bread and butter of their T-sides. They try it slow, they try it fast. But ECTag was looking to respond there. He was hoping they walked forward, which they did. And worst case scenario, if he falls off of Ticket Booth, you still have that solid ramp controlled, which they were able to hold. And there we have it yet again. A peak before the smoke's down. That to me is an issue.
They saved for that AWP as well. It's gone within the first few seconds of the round. Esperanto this time trying to make a bit more of a play onto short. He's got to watch out because there is a man in the ladder room. He doesn't even check it. Nico's handed a freebie. Two-man advantage straight away for Heroic, and it definitely seems like they are the kryptonite of this Imperial side on Mirage. They're breaking down a lot of the plays they attempt to make, and well, now the T's are just falling back. They don't seem to have anything so far. Asilian, he's picked himself up that AWP, and he's waiting for somebody to peek, but I doubt that peak will ever come.
2 rounds in a row now, the player inside of ladder has actually found a frag for free. Twice it's gone unchecked. Imperial are not going to be able to make those mistakes if they hope to win out in these finals. They will be punished accordingly, but they do still have a chance back at the B site. They've got Tensky and Nexa working in through the apps, and the only player back on the site's Rubino himself. Asilian has to be wary of this position. He too goes right past it. What are you doing? He doesn't even check. That's a free frag again. I mean, the vent hasn't been broken. There's no sound cue whatsoever. Luckily, Rubino's fallen, so Imperial have something, and Nexa doubles down. That's going to be the bomb plant. A 3 versus 2 set to unfold, but the CT's so quickly surrounding the site. Nobody's giving them an initial fight. It is just a patient setup here.
Been good in the retakes so far. Snappy will be coming in on the flank. Tensky up above, but he's got to be careful because Nexa is actually going to be spotted. It will just be a trade, but that still leaves it into a 1 versus 2. The CT side will take that all day long. Tensky now has to be wary as the smoke falls onto the bomb. The defuse comes in, and actually Modi's just trying to stick it, but he doesn't know. He's just taken the defusal. Will get it with no problems. And S-Tag even finishes off Tensky in the end. 6-1, retake working. And other than Nexa so far, there's no one on the board for Imperial.
Man, I mean, obviously Tensky, he tries to spam the diffuser off the smoke, but because he only had half the magazine, you see him swap to the Glock, desperately jumping in, trying to slash and dash his way to a second round. However, it's again Nuki with an aggressive stance. He misses his chance at punishing the Opper. ECTag standing in full display. So Esperanto instead now, he works his way forward, but Tensky, the first casualty towards the bottom of mid. Nobody spotted this. And a Molotov to follow suit, but Asilian clears the tunnel. Starts to create a path back into this round. ECTag not overextending into the duel. Not until he drops those flames. Again, ladder position is going to be possibly impactful in this round, but you see Rubino falling off the B site. He doesn't want to be the casualty to Cat. That would open B up wide.
Still a minute left on the clock, but the T's are all the way back in spawn at the moment. Seem like they're building up towards this B side once again. Rubino is going to be on hand, and they still have Nico in that ladder room. They haven't been able to challenge him out of this spot just yet, so no real reason for him to switch anything up. It will be a lot of what Rubino can do, though. Just buy time, slow things down. He hears all the players coming. Molotov's going to be thrown in. Flashbangs to try and clear him out of the angle, but they're not going to spot him. He gets himself one, but it's only trades across the board into a 2 versus 2. Nade will be thrown on to do a little bit of extra damage, soften up Nexa, but the fact is now it's down to just 1. Modi to try and clutch this out. Imperial looking like they have their chance for a second. Can he steal it away?
Nobody's actually watching for this. You do see Nexa double back. Modi could just go to save the op, and it looks like that's exactly what he'll do. So Imperial do find a second. Coming off of that B site hit. Oh, wait. Modi not done yet. He wants to come back in with maybe another kill. Nexa could be punished here. You see him not quite sure as to where Modi will be. But he jumps the gun. You will have to give chase. Modi still gets a chance, and oh no, another missed shot, and the op's denied, so the save does not transpire. Imperial wipe the board.
Another big round for Nexa. 3 kills in the end, also removing that AWP at the end of it. However, the CT side will have enough money to purchase back into this one. If they lose it, it will be their last, and a way for Imperial to get back into the game once again. Look at this from S-Tag, aggressive push, looking for that early pick, and he finds it as well. Nuke is gone once again. He seems to be dying early in a lot of these rounds. Nade thrown out, Rubino jumping back and forth, has the risk of losing his head. Still continues to do it, playing with fire. Fire on the other side is Tensky, but wow, he doesn't care. Keeps the jump going. Tees will just be forced to fade away, and it's too many on the sort of early round occasions that we see the early frag going the way of Heroic.
Yeah, really not working with a man advantage has been Imperial. That has belonged to Heroic more often than not. Cillian looking for his chance to strike through smoke here as it does begin to fade. He's heard the spam firing off, so you have to be cautious if you're Rubino. But he does reload in time, now spotting 2 players. His defense tries to get into position, but he's instantly deleted, and it's Nico now to line up 2. Tensky to the window, and a Cillian to the cross. With the bomb dropped in 45 seconds on this clock, Tensky's being flanked, and he might not know it, but a Cillian starts to bail them out, and now the flank comes in. A Cillian desperate for some footing. He wants himself the duel. He needs another kill here before he tries to plant, but if he jumps up, he's on full display.
Yeah, he's not going to expect there to be multiple players on that flank as well. Goes to try and bait in some of these rotations, but it won't matter. Snappy goes for the aggressive peek. It's 7-2, and the T's can't string anything together at the moment. It is all Heroic so far in this game.
This was a crucial hold from Nico. He had already lost Rubino on the bomb site. Not even taking down one with him. He had the information, so luckily, of course, Nico is prepared for such a play. He anticipates the lineup, and he executes it accordingly. However, with only pistols, Imperial seek to hit this A-bomb site. And again, it's not the strongest line of defense. It is just, of course, Maudie back towards the ticket. He will have Snappy floating between the jungle connector and stairs. But already we've seen EasyTag rotate over. Remember, last round he starts it off with a quick peek into Palace. This time he's been positioned onto ticket. And the grenades from Heroic are fine. If they see that initial volley come through, if they anticipate the execution, and they could easily hold it back. But will the kills go their way? That's the biggest question.
Boost already going to be thrown in, leaving Maudie with quite a bit of vision and just taps away at Tensky, already giving the man advantage, but it doesn't last long. Cillian with the CZ, we've seen him do it before in the previous matchup. Bomb plant at least should be going down, but actually they're being a bit more patient with it. Cillian is the man who's managed to retrieve a rifle, maybe expecting something over to the connector, but the fact is they don't have any utility to smoke it off anyway, so if they are going to go for this plant, they wanted to do it soon. The CT is even starting to get a little bit worried that maybe this has gone back towards the B site. I think everybody's ended up a little bit confused in this scenario, but with the connector covered by Esperanto, bomb will eventually go down. CTs, however, have actually expended an awful lot of their utility. They've only got 3 flashbangs to get back into the site. However, Maudie again up from above will help them back into this round.
2 Deagles in the CZ. No counter grenades to try and hold off this retake, and the flashbangs will aid Heroic on their push. 3 of their players moving in through the ticket booth. A late rotation from Rubino and an execution from the first Deagle. Damage off of the second, but Nuki's down. It's all on Esperanto, and he gets himself the first up close. These next 2 players tagged. A fresh mag in, and they line up, but not enough. Heroic, with just enough time, take the defuse.
Maudie with an ace as well. Every single player goes his way. It's only pistols in that round for the Imperial side, but the fact is they still don't have enough money to go for a buy in this one anyway, and that was such a crucial round. The CT side not wanting to let Imperial have a break and a way back into this game. Instead, it's just going to be a little bit extra added into pistols. Esperanto with a Deagle, and Kevlar, in fact, spending quite a bit more than the rest of his team. Once again, they're going to try and set up over towards this site. This time there's no utility though. One singular flashbang is the only way into the site. Modi, with the ace from the previous round, is going to be the only man here. In fact, we've seen some aggression from S-Tag into middle, but it won't matter. This is where the push happens. This is where Modi needs to hold the position. And already SB with that Deeg has managed to find one. However, the trade from the Orb does damage. Summit is back in the server as Modi finds a kill on himself, but it won't matter. S-Tag's done the work. Nico and Rubino chime in, and we do have ourselves a 9-2 scoreline.
This is incredible from Heroic. They are locking down this T side. There have been slight openings made off of the pistols, but the retakes have been superb, so this makes sense. Imperial taking a tactical pause. They need time to mull things over.
Neil doesn't know his mic plugged in again. He's just holding it. Him and Mike's, it just doesn't seem to go very well.
It's okay. All he needs is the high fives and the fist bumps.
Yeah. And the woo. But they have to win some rounds for him to be able to do that.
Maybe this will be the one, as we do find Imperial coming into this with a buy. Nobody actually challenging before the smoke plumes. In fact, they wait a little longer. Tensky trying to keep himself alive. Will Imperial finally find a 5 versus 4, though? That is not something they've been able to work with all too often. The initial smoke has faded. EC tag on the repeak. He's now smoked off himself, so Nico tries to pry for information. Snappy starting to bolster this middle defense, but you do see the Opera give up window. That's interesting that it rotates back towards Ticket, where Nuki actually starts to get himself out ramp. Yes, he does take the headshot on Tamati, who had just moved his way forward, giving the position to EC tag and trying to build up that A site hold. Now, it's going to be coming down to the split. With the bomb up through ramp, but Snappy and the connector's good for only one. It's traded straight away, and the Opper needs to come to life here. EC tag waits for his opportunity. Now he's skewered, but he denies the opportunity, and Nico comes in with another. Finally, we do see Imperial with a bit of an advantage here. 2v2 and health over Nico, but Rubino's on this flank.
Yeah, that's the big thing, this long flank coming all the way in, and the T side without any real utility to sort of stop anybody pushing. They have to just have Nuki holding on to this spot. Nico will be able to retake control of the jungle, and actually it's a very long flank coming in from Rubino. He's going all the way through the palace and may have a decent angle onto the man over in the firebox at the moment. But it is just going to come down to this flank. Nico, he can't really do too much here. He's waiting for his teammate, and well, Nuki reads it utterly perfectly as he takes down that flanking man. Nico has no choice but to save onto his weapon, and it will be another round. The question is now, can Imperial get some more in a row, or is it just going to be a straight reset again?
Yeah, that's what they definitely need to dodge. They need to start stringing them together, because best case scenario is 6 rounds at this point. We haven't seen them actually come into later halves. We go back to both of their games, Tom, on the match versus North, right? Most notably Overpass. Both times once we get into the later portions of the halves is when we actually watched North come to life. Imperial themselves never needed to bounce back. What they always had characteristically was strong starts, and that is not what they've had here versus Heroic. So they need to show us that they are capable of more. They need to improve the score as much as they can before they swap over to that CT side, where we also have seen them succeed. It is not over yet, but it's gonna need a resuscitation, a revival.
I think that smoke from Rubino is actually to extinguish the Molotov, and because of that, it actually leaves quite a big gap for the T's to try and take some sort of advantage. Esperanto around that connector is exactly where he likes to play. We haven't seen too much from him so far. Molotov will force him back out of position. And this is exactly what I was talking about when it comes to Heroic and their CT side. They like to be so passive. Nico, different spot once again, but he's doing so much damage. A second kill found finally. He's traded out, but they've done enough. They've spotted the bomb. Snappy's also aggressive, playing with the UMP. If he catches Tensky, this round may be over, and that's exactly what he does. Esperanto now left into a 1 versus 4, and it's looking like more of the same from Imperial. 1 and done.
There's been so many times now where it's just a certain positioning from Heroic, a certain play that goes untraded, not immediately clearing out a CT and allowing multi-frags. If Heroic can continue to get 2Ks every here and there, then they will eventually find more and more rounds, which they've done. And unfortunately for Esperanto, he misses his jump. He will desperately try to get himself into the A site. There is a sole defender here, but he might actually opt to save. Denied. Easy tag gets himself the kill. A 10th round for Heroic. And a fantastic CT side now. Double digits already, and Heroic looking to extend because the economy is not something that's playing into the hands of Imperial. But look at Nico's positioning. Again, a different off angle. Instant headshot on the first. He changes his positioning ever so slightly as to offset the crosshair of the trade fragger. And that is why he gets a second. Really nice little pieces of movement from Heroic. You saw it from Snappy in the apps as well with that UMP. But Heroic always pushing their way forward, always taking a position where they can get a gunfight prior to Imperial hitting the bomb site.
This time though, shot missed. Push already looking to try and pounce on this, and actually Nuke does manage the first kill, but trades are coming back already. Nexa though with 2 on the Deagle has definitely given them an opener here. Nico back to make it a 2 versus 2, and the bomb has been dropped. Rotation from Robino will allow a decent spot if anybody looks to cross. They really want to get rid of this man in the connector. It's Nico still just sitting here low on HP, but Esperanto misses the shots, has such an opportunity, and now Tensky can't hit them either. 11-3, Heroic dominating on their opponent's map choice. This is not what I expected at all.
I mean, this is for the first time a map of Mirage whereby Esperanto's been shut down. He's been nullified. You can see him sitting there with 7 frags. It's Nexa and Nuki up there towards the top. Tensky incredibly cold so far. And Easy Tag nearly just hits that timing, but Nuki will be given a chance on the scout. Remember, 15th round of the half, and the buy is desperate. The economy in shambles as the scout and 4 pistols is all that they piece together. A double op setup waiting for them on the other side. Easy Tag positioned here inside of middle. That second sniper alone on B. And so the CTs are positioned to shut them down early on. There's the first one from Nico. Finding his gunfight to the top of mid, calling for Snappy to move into position, hoping that Imperial walk his way. But Esperanto with a dirty Deagle shot deletes the first one. Now Madi's also denied, and he's starting to come to life. It's never too late, but it may be too little. 3v3 as Nico's caught, damage is dealt. He sits on 18, but he's able to fall off. He can retreat. And Nexa executes the next one.
Man advantage now for this T side. They've got a chance to at least steal away the final round of the half and maybe bring some life going into what will be their CT side. The question is, can S-Tag and Nico do anything about it? AWP sat towards the back of the site. He's at least got a decent position. The bomb needs to make its way up towards this ramp, and he's just going to sit passive. Asilian will just be running out, and Nico's there to hold the cross as well, but he doesn't quite manage to kill such a crucial one at that, and he's going to get caught from Tensky just waiting in middle, looks to try and hit the wall bang, but this is just a horrible position. May look to try and retrieve the rifle, which is going to be up close, and will be able to do just that. S-Tag looks for more, but Nexa's there with the dig. 11-4. Individual rounds won every single time by Imperial, but it's a dominating half from Heroic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, it's kind of the nail in the coffin when your economy is crushed 3 separate times, never actually winning consecutive rounds and only putting 4 to the board. It's a bit of a saving grace that they do indeed get the 15th. That will ensure, at the very least, regardless of the pistol outcome, a gun round from Imperial's CT side. But Heroic have proven to be too much in these first 15. As noted, the map choice from Imperial, the way that they've started series versus both North and Heroic now. And last time we saw fireworks, but this time it's gone stale.
T-side. Interesting that it's Heroic, a team based off so much tactics that are just going to go straight for the Glocks, but the Glock train into mid has already done so much damage. Tensky needs to step up and do something here, but actually it's Esperanto's the one taking the fights. He's only on 11 HP and he's gone as well. The T's off to a flying start. Nexa tries his best, but his best just isn't enough. And now Tensky and Asilian are left to try and save this pistol. It could be the nail in the coffin for what is Imperial's map choice if they don't manage to turn something around here. Connect control still taken, and the T's have slowed right down. They're going to be nice and patient with finishing off what should be theirs.
This does give Asilian a little bit of time to work his way through Connector, but the problem is the man on Cat. Oh no, he misses his opportunity, and now EC Tag calls where he's at. He's the last man left over in a 1 versus 4 with the bomb down on the opposite side of the box. The reload will give him a chance, 12 bullets to the mag. But still they spot him. Asilian, I mean, time is the biggest issue. EC Tag just playing with his food at this point, finally tries to close that gap and he gets the kill, but what more can you do? They know exactly where you are. You may have the kit, but you're still boxed in because Snappy snuck in from behind. And that's it. Snappy's got it. Heroic win the pistol, and Imperial still deflated at 4.
Yeah, looking out of this game at the moment. They at least get the bomb plant, so... Oh no, sorry, that's the other side. They, well, at least get the force, I suppose. And as you said, they will at least have one potential buy round, although I do wonder if they're just going to look to try and force the issue in the next few. They're so far down, and a string of that many rounds just seems so unlikely with the way the game has been going so far. CT side. We'll just go for a bit more of a stack over towards the A site. Asilian left alone to try and just hold off on VB. You can see the T's actually are gathering up, or at least the majority of their players looking like they're going to go for a split onto this A site. So the read may be correct. Mid control completely theirs. They will go splitting towards this connector, and actually the CT side have rotated extra players off, maybe expecting this to be more of a play. Nexa will actually find himself too. Asilian has managed another one. The bomb dropped out, and Snappy and S-Tag looking to try and trade things back. They've still got to deal with Asilian on that AK, but he's gone as well. And it's down on Yuki and Tensky to try and close this.
Now just one, and he can't get it done. It's Heroic to convert things closely. That could have been swapped the other way, but Heroic get through the trial. And they move through with the Galil and the AK held on to. Imperial, what's your choice? By saving in this one, they'll have to put it all on the line with that big buy. They'll have, of course, the grenades to go with their guns. But Heroic looking to make the most of this situation. They buy up into the 3 MAC-10s. They want money, Tom. Fat stacks. And Snappy blasts the first man back. The second falls just after. Third one, absolutely. Fourth at a distance, he taps away.
He's got a deagle, by the way. He could just go for the deagle instead, but he wants that money.
Money, Tom. Money.
Oh, the money may be going into his bank fairly soon if they continue to play the way that they have. Tensky has a chance to make some of his own, but S-Tag will pick up a double. $1,200 into his account, 14 and 4 for Heroic. And now this is the one possible buy round from the CT side. If they lose this one, they will be forcing into what could be the last of their map pick. A map that they've looked so good on throughout the tournament. Even in the last time that they played versus Heroic, we saw overtime hit. However, they have not turned up to this grand final just yet.
No, they have collapsed at the final hurdle, so it seems. No AWP here in the 19th round. Heroic obtaining that top mid control with absolutely zero contest. I feel like Imperial at this point are scared, and they have a reason to be, down by 10 rounds. We do have Heroic sniffing out this B bomb site. Asilian's trying to spot players, but Esperanto's deleted already, and the cat control goes the way of the T's. EC Tag trades right away, and Asilian can't get himself into the gunfight, but he does find cover. And then EC Tag's deleted. He still has something to work with as the T's trickle out, and Nexa finds a kill. Back to the 2v2. Madi and Rubino in the after plant. And that plant is for Catwalk.
Nexa, you kid don't have a kit. The cat's just gonna go straight through and actually finds the kill, leaves Rubino in the clutch situation. Both players will push through that Molotov though, and they're both low on HP. He has the advantage over the two, and as said, there's no kit, so the time is now ticking faster, but Nexa takes his head clean off. The bomb will be defused, and Imperial will at least live to fight that little bit longer. But we know that there's going to be a buy coming back in from Heroic. They made so much cash off the back of those SMGs. And it's definitely not the sort of laughy, jokey team we saw versus North. This is a solemn Imperial.
Yeah, they have absolutely nothing to be happy about yet. They have been giving themselves a chance, but we will have a pause called.
That's a tech one. It's a tech one. Never mind. It's not some deep tactical. Hold tight.
Don't touch me, Tom. Stop.
Well, surely hold
It's
tight.
not literal. Keep your hands to yourself.
Pull me closer, tiny dancer. Is that what you're looking for?
You and song lyrics, I say. Should be an easy fix. Looks like they're already back into it. We're good to rock and roll.
Yeah, T-side are going to be able to come in with a decent buy. AK-47s across the board, and of course only 2 players surviving. Tensky really has not awoken just yet. 4 and 17, so quiet in this game, but the fact is Esperanto being on 9 is actually scarier for this Imperial side. It's one of those things that we were saying where he was getting almost 30 kills every single map of Mirage, and he may not even hit 13 in this one. He's going back to his aggressive stance, taking the fight, but the Flash is doing so much, he's only going to get 1, and then the trade comes in. S-Tac looking for more, but Tensky meets him. Again, though, it's just trades. A lot of utility already expended for both of these teams, and we're left into a 3v3.
Rubino, having worked his way from ramp, is the next man to fall, so Imperial do work their way into a man advantage for now. It seems as though Heroic have anticipated the peaks and the trade directions from Imperial. Tensky always comes off of Cat, but Nuki's going to give up his side. Madi walking downwards. Oh no, the flash blinds both, so nobody can capitalize as of yet, but the repeat's here, and there goes Madi, leaving it on to Nico. 1v3, he takes himself the first, but at what cost, Tom? He's down to 39 health, and while he does have utility to work off of, with the bomb on his back, he needs to try and find an opening, so he will slow things down. The problem being he'll be skewered as he works his way into the A site. At any given moment, we could watch a Cillian go for the peak, but he's giving it up. Oh no, Nexa comes up from beneath, and Imperial with another. They do continue to piece this back into their favor, but they have a huge hill to climb.
Yeah, still in need of 8 rounds in a row just to level the scoreline, and 10 if they want to somehow steal this map away. Heroic just going to take the hit in this round, go for a few pistols, look to try and at least create some cost. The T's, oh, we can see them. Nico with the dig. Say goodbye to Nukia. That's already him out of this one. And the T's, well, they look like they were about to just barrel onto the A side, but after that, I think they've just said, hey, let's give Nico a little bit more time. Maybe he can do a bit more damage.
Rubino bites off more than he can chew. Tries to spam the smoke and gets spammed straight back. So things are evened out. Not that you can call it fair, seeing as the guns still reside in the hands of Imperial and nothing's been retrieved for the T's. Cillian gives up his position, would hate to be caught inside the apps, especially if it's a safer way for Heroic to grab a gun. But EC Tag's worked his way into connector. He's looking to hold off any kind of a rotation. Cillian will be presented with plenty of targets, and he easily takes down the first. The flashbang will hold back the push. And with 45 seconds, Heroic are trying to figure out what to do, but he has to be cautious because those deagles can be deadly. And as EC Tag continues his way working in, Esperanto just denies him. He gets his rifle back in hand at the perfect moment, and their solution is a window boost.
Snappy does still have the dig, but so far hasn't been able to do too much, and Modi will have that bomb dropped into mid. Hopefully a bit more of a confidence booster for Esperanto, who has been quiet so far. Nexa steps up to close out the round, and it is another on the board at least. But the fact is, this is where the buy comes back in for the T's. They haven't been stopped so far. It's only been individual rounds up until this point for Imperial. It's the first streak we've had from them, and it needs to be a long one if they are going to have themselves a way back into this first map.
I'm sure that they would love to just get a broken economy behind Heroic so they can earn themselves a little breather, but here comes Esperanto sprinting to the top of mid, where 2 T's lie in wait. Anticipated and predicted. Instantly, we watch Heroic transition into that underpass push. Instantly, they regain any contest inside middle. They lie in wait, hoping Tensky overextends towards Catwalk, which he has done before. He's been caught in this position. Nexa as well towards Connector. Could be the next casualty of the round. Heroic searching for some kind of an opening, and here they have it. Another kill comes in towards B. Easy tag drops Tensky, and you see this transition from Heroic straight to the B site.
And Nexa, the new kid, need to pull off something utterly ridiculous, but they do manage to find a first at least. Just waiting to see if there's any more mistakes, but look at this from Snappy. He's looking to hold them in on the flank. This is just going to be brutal. Nexa is watching for this very play, but he looks away just at the wrong moment. Snappy is about to make his move, peeks in, catches Nexa, and while S-Tag closes, 15-7. Heroic 1 round away from taking their opponent's map pick in this grand final.
A lot of stoked Heroic fans.
S-Tag has his own banner.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember at DreamHack Atlanta when Heroic were able to bring out some of the family of Nico. They too had banners. I believe they had 4 generations of Nico's family there to support him. This is a lineup that has not only support from families, but also an institution. Heroic definitely supports this team, as they should, showing talent here tonight. But their job's not over. 8 chances for Imperial, and they cannot falter, fumble, or fall. A clean spree to overtime is what they need. And I believe it has to come off the back of some kind of massive individual play. Who can step up, though? That's the biggest question. We have seen struggles from Imperial in the finals.
Definitely not been able to show what they've got so far, but when the going get tough, the tough can get going, and we'll see if Imperial can just face off against the might of Heroic. An 8-round lead. They only need 1, and then they go on to their map choice of Overpass, which last time was a 16-4. Asilian looking to be boosted up. A couple of players on the other side. S-Tag spots him, but he's going to go down anyway. Asilian with a second, but Nico quickly trades back too. And now there's nobody left on this B site. Esperanto will run his little legs over towards that site, but it has already been lost. He's going to try and make a play himself. Goes through the smoke, but he's lost. A ridiculous play that fails miserably. And now he's left it on to Nuki and Nexa to try and save things.
With no utility neither. This could be the biggest issue. They do decide to swap the off into the AK. Nuki comes into Cat and he hits the first headshot, but can they find another? No! It is Heroic picking up their opponent's map pick. Heroic with the first map win. And a very real chance now of shutting Imperial's heroic spree to the finals down, Tom. They have been hot tonight. All weekend.